the policing minister is facing a serious backlash after he criticised the cheek of illegal migrants complaining about their living conditions. The Manston processing centre in Kent has been called inhumane, with reports of overcrowding, violence and outbreaks of diphtheria and scabies. And today, the government says it's reduced the number of people held there by 1,000. Now, Chris Philp has argued the number of people crossing the channel in small boats is overwhelming and the asylum system is struggling to cope.
This is very, very difficult to accommodate 40,000 people who turn up illegally in a very short space of time. Obviously the Home Office is doing its best to try and accommodate them. But if people choose to enter a country illegally and unnecessarily, it is a bit, it's a bit of a cheek to then start complaining about the conditions when you've illegally entered a country.
So Downing Street has distanced itself from these comments, saying that migrants deserve to be treated with compassion and respect. And of course, that is absolutely the case. But, there are millions of people up and down the country here who are struggling paying food bills, who would say their living conditions, their cost of living crisis makes life really tough. And so I think millions will feel, frankly, somewhat amazed. And I think people will sympathise with the minister's view that it's a bit of a cheek to come here and start complaining when they've got... We are paying...
Richard.
Hang on, hear me out. We're paying for a roof over the head. We're paying to accommodate them, feed them, and they're probably getting better conditions than millions of people here in the UK.
Absolutely
so why is...
not in Manston. They are not getting better conditions than people in the UK. They're being held in small areas where diseases are spreading. They're not being allowed to leave, and there is overcrowding. Does that remind you of anything? The rhetoric in this country at the moment is reminiscent... It's my turn now. Is reminiscent of 1930s Germany, the cartoons that are being drawn, the images of people being represented. And do you know what? I understand that you say that there are people who might be cheating the system. I understand that that's your argument on this. But, Richard, I wish your argument was more empathetic and compassionate to people who fled war. But no, I've not finished. The young girl...
There are 1,000 people coming a day. 1,000 people coming a day.
Young girl
it's not easy processing those people.
The young girl who threw a bottle with a message inside it to reporters saying that there were women and children, pregnant women, being kept in unsanitary conditions. What do you say about them?
It's appalling, but everyone knows that if there's 1,000 people coming a day, it's a seriously difficult job to move them on.
Hang on a second.
So the question is,
hang on a second.
Are they doing it competently and quickly and efficiently?
Hang on a second. Chris Philp sounds like he's somebody who's not on top of his brief. I'm
Why?
sorry, that
Why
was
does he say why?
Because it was the
This
most...
is chattering class rubbish about what people say.
No,
what he said. Why do politicians get condemned when they say something that sounds like they're a member of the human race?
Look,
that's what people will be saying today.
Perhaps I can finish my point.
They will be saying...
Perhaps I can finish my point, Kevin.
Let me finish mine. They will be saying that these people have got a cheek, just as they will be saying that it's an invasion.
No.
This chattering class condemnation...
All right, you've said that already.
What they say is ridiculous.
Look, I'm sorry. Chris Philp, the way that he explained it, the way that he's identified the problem, he's having a blame storm. He's trying not to take responsibility for what he has to do. And what we have here is we have three different things. We have people who are genuinely coming to this country because they are in need and we need to help them. We have people who are migrating here for whatever reason. And we also have a huge number, if you listen to the BBC, dare I say you should, they said Albanians who are coming here, and there are organised gangs, there are drugs and there are lines and there are real problems that we've got. And you've got to sift your way through, and I want to hear Home Office ministers and people who are responsible identifying the different problems and the categories and identifying where the issues are and making sure that people are dealt with quickly and efficiently so that people do not suffer in the process.
Look, at the end of the day, the Home Office is not fit for purpose.
Agreed.
And what the Home Office is doing is actually victim blaming and creating a blame storm, like you said, and using words like invasion and using phrases like the cheek of it. Two things can coexist, right? We can be going through a cost of living crisis, and British people who live here can be facing a difficult time, but they can also be sympathetic and empathetic to people who have gone through a difficult journey to get here and are now being held in what is reminiscent, like Nicola said, of concentration camps.
Yep.
Those two things
that's emotive language.
Those
emotive language.
It
You know
is
what?
emotive
Two
language.
things- Let me finish. Let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Let me finish.
You
Let me
cannot
finish,
complain about
Richard,
emotive
let me finish.
language if
Let
you-
me finish. The two things can coexist. And the way that we talk about migrants and the way that we talk about people, not illegals, because people can't be illegal, the way that we talk about the
They
people
can be
who are
illegal.
being...
They
People
are.
are not illegal.
They are.
There are illegal
Let me
migrants who
finish.
have come here
Let me
illegally.
finish. Let me finish. The way that we talk about people who enter this country, the language that we're using has to change.
Nicola,
to change.
quickly.
Nicola, quickly.
Just look up what a concentration camp is.